This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, good morning to you. It is Thursday, and Thursday, 2 days left in the work week to you, and also 2 days left until our next big chance of storms back in the ArkLaTex. Hello, I'm First Alert Meteorologist Evan Thompson. Thank you for coming on to the show. We always welcome you here on First Alert Weather Breakdown, where we break down the weather forecast in its entirety. This is one of those forecasts where we, quite frankly, don't have enough time to get into all of the detail of what's going on with the storms here for this coming weekend. We give you a basis of the timing in the shows. We give you a basis of what we could expect with the specific threats. We give you also when it's finally going to dry up, or when it's finally going to end, when it's going to start. You get the timing. We didn't really, at least in my shows, we didn't go too much into the rainfall totals. We'll go into that here again, and what we could expect, how much rainfall could help out of our drought situation. Because, again, we've been dry for the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks of measurable rainfall. September 24th. That was the last big round of rain that we had pushing through the ArkLaTex. So it's been a while. This is the first rainfall of all of October. It is now October the 16th, and again, this is not scheduled until, if I do the math correctly, 2 days away, so the 18th. It's still going to happen until the 18th. So we need the rainfall. Unfortunately, it comes with severe weather, which is not so good, but we'll see. Again, kind of good news, bad news kind of situation. But again, the point is we don't have enough time to get into all the different future tracks with this as well. That's another thing that I really think is a big story surrounding these storms on Saturday, is because some of these future tracks have us getting barely any rain, by the way, at all. Kind of just getting a few spotty storms from the system, and that's it. And the majority of the rain is up in Arkansas, actually, on some of the future tracks. There are some future tracks, though, that are getting us swamped by severe weather. Like, what am I supposed to tell you? Am I supposed to tell you that, hey, it's going to be raining all day Saturday? Or am I supposed to tell you that, oh, my goodness, you might not get any rainfall at all? It's kind of why we have the chance of rain in there, first and foremost. But this is just one of those days where I just wish the weather models would cooperate, especially 2 days out. 2 days out now, and it's still not in complete agreement with one another. It kind of goes to show you kind of how on the edge we are from the actual line of severe weather. That, to be fair, I'll show you in the severe weather risk map that's pinpointed by the National Weather Service, but it's mainly in Arkansas. It does include northern Louisiana, and that slight risk of severe weather does go down into Shreveport in the I-20 corridor, but it almost ends just past that, essentially. I'll show you what I mean in our maps coming on up. I know I'm getting a little more into statistics, but the point is we're going over all of the details for the weekend storms here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. In fact, that's pretty much our only topic here for today. I did have our exclusive content in with somebody else. Just so you know, we had an interview scheduled for today. My interview is sadly sick. I'm not going to say who he or she is, but they are sadly sick and could not make this podcast. So, first of all, best of wishes, prayers up to that person to get better soon. They'll be okay. Just, common cold, allergies, those kind of things. They're getting over. Hopefully it's not the flu. They didn't get into specifics, but I don't need to know. You don't need to know. Anyways, point is, we have all the time to talk all about the severe storms that are lined up here for 2 days from now. We'll show exactly what some of the future tracks are showing, what some of them aren't showing, what the timing of the storms is overall. There are future tracks that are kind of showing different timings of things, and even some of them that are trying to, a scarce few of them are even trying to slide the rain all the way into Sunday. Again, scarce few. Overall, the consensus is that the storms are going to happen on Saturday. That's an agreement all across most models, not all models. That's what I'm trying to get at here for you. All right, so plenty of info to go over. Let's go over it, shall we? Live look out and beyond, out into Shreveport and Bossier. Hey, it's looking nice and lovely here right now. Again, we kind of go over the more simplistic parts of the forecast first, and then we usually get into the nitty-gritty detail a little bit later on. But, yes, thank you, anyways, for joining us. Again, feel free to watch this on our YouTube stream as well. That's where you can actually ask questions. about the whole weather forecast in its entirety. So, as I'm going to control my weather graphics here, hey, today at least, nice and beautiful. Same thing for Texarkana. I mean, I feel like I've just been, I could have just taken a screenshot of this from Monday. You would have believed me that this is the forecast again here for the day today. Point is, we've been hanging on with ample sunshine that has been just stuck in the ArkLaTex in place with us past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's rare. Rain has been a scarce commodity around here is what I'm trying to get at now. There are a few things that could happen here for this afternoon that are indicating that we're leading ourselves into that cold front coming on Saturday. And we're going to go over that in just a little bit. And some of that could start today. For the rest of your morning planner, we'll go over the current temperatures in a second. But the point is we are rapidly seeing our temperatures warm up here still over the next couple of hours. Go over the temperatures here in a moment. Now, obviously, again, the past 3 weeks, do want to stress that out to you again. 3 weeks is nothing ample sunshine. In fact, excuse me, I continue to hiccup a little bit. I'm actually going to take a break to show you our drought monitor, which is a little bit outlined here. This is the latest drought monitor from the National Weather Service, which now encompasses pretty much most of the ArkLaTex now under a slight drought. Technically, there is a moderate drought, actually, if you look in the southern edge of the ArkLaTex over towards Sabine Parish, Natchitoches Parish, into Natchitoches, and little corners of DeSoto and Red River as well. A couple burn bans in place, too, mostly across the southern half of the ArkLaTex, but yeah, we need rain. That's what I'm trying to get at. Past 3 weeks, this has led up to this moment of where we need the rain. We need the rainfall, and it is thankfully coming for us in, again, just a few days. But for now, temperatures kind of remaining around the same outlook of what they have been over the past couple days. It's still staying actually fairly cool in Shreveport and Texarkana, believe it or not. Even in Mansfield, wow, that's surprising a little bit. 68 degrees still near there. Meanwhile, up other areas, 75 in Natchitoches, 74 in Carthage, 76 in for Marshall currently. Here are the highs today. They're similar to the high temperatures we've had with us all week long. It just continues on and on. Upper 80s across northern half of the ArkLaTex, 88 New Boston, 87 there for Nashville, 87 also there in Broken Bow, I believe 88 in Marshall, 88 Carthage, 88 Nacogdoches, 91 today in Shreveport, 90 in both Coshada and Natchitoches, 87 in Homer, 88 in Bienville. Now, our temperatures are going to start to change actually a little bit beginning tomorrow morning. I know it seems like our temperatures have been copy and paste over the last five consecutive days with cool mornings and very warm afternoons that get up to around this mark where we have them up in the upper 80s here for you. But starting tomorrow morning, we get a little more humidity in the air, and that process mainly starts this evening. I would probably say we start increasing the humidity just a little bit, and the humidity is going to help us to kind of moderate our temperatures a little bit. What I mean by moderate is not as much of a range, not as much up and down in the temperature outlook in between the mornings and the afternoons. We're now getting our mornings a little warmer. The humidity warms us up, especially you feel that in the morning hours. So mid-60s are there for you here for the start of the day tomorrow. So you might not need as much of a jacket per se and for the start of your Friday. And then it's going to continue into Saturday morning. We'll get to Saturday morning here in a second. Afternoon temperatures kind of remain around the same level, though. Upper 80s again there for Friday afternoon for tomorrow. And then look at how warm Saturday starts off. Upper 60s to maybe even mid-70s in some spots around the ArkLaTex there for the start of your Saturday. Considerably warm. We haven't seen these kinds of temperatures in a while in for our mornings. These are your kind of mild summer kind of mornings. Especially very humid air trapped in the ArkLaTex there for your Saturday that leads into the storms that we'll discuss here in just a bit. The storms obviously come with the cold front, so now the temperatures behind the cold front going to cool off by probably a solid 10 degrees or so. 79 is expected the high there for your Sunday afternoon. 80 in Shreveport, 79 in Coshada, so it's going to feel a lot nicer. In behind that cold front coming on through, I will say temperatures look to level off, get to warm up just a little bit from that into early next week. Highs are in the mid-80s there for Monday. And that appears to be the case also into Tuesday. So our 90-degree days might be done once this cold front swings on by. Obviously, again, that doesn't swing on by till Saturday, so embrace it still, at least for here for today and tomorrow, and maybe maybe into Saturday as well. Now, again, the mornings start changing tomorrow, and those are going to be on a little bit of a roller coaster. They go up, leading into the intense humidity that's going to be in here for Saturday. That's why Saturday, incredibly mild to start off the morning. Sunday, still a little bit of moisture around with temperatures in the mid-60s, mid to upper 60s at that. And then once we fully dry things back out, we get the sunshine back out there for Sunday afternoon, we have low humidity levels back in the ArkLaTex. It leads us into a cold morning. Very, very cool. I would call it very cool. I would not call it cold. But the point is, you're waking up temperatures in probably the low to mid-50s for the start of your Monday before they actually start to ramp back up really quickly into Tuesday, believe it or not, in front of maybe another cold front in the middle of next week. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But for now, talking about all of our info surrounding these storms here with you. All right, so these are the details that we know. Obviously, storms are hitting this weekend. All right, hang on for the ride here. There's going to be a lot of info surrounding this. Again, severe weather is possible here over with the system that is going to come on through here for the weekend. Now, the timing of things, the consensus of the timing appears to be Saturday afternoon into Saturday night at this point in time. Does it mean we could expect storms Saturday morning, per se? Most likely no, but it could be possible. Same thing with the other end. Sunday morning, I'm expecting most likely no, but I don't think it's 100% out of the question, so to speak. Again, just different weather models showing different things. Anyways, cold front comes with it. We're going to have a slight cool down. That will be guaranteed. What we do know is that. What we do know as well is that severe weather is possible, meaning we could get severe weather threats, anything from hail, strong winds, and even, yes, a chance of tornadoes in the ArkLaTex as well. That is if the storms do form in the first place. So essentially, there are a few weather models that are just trying to put on, it's just a few spotty storms in the region, not a full blanket, such as other weather models. But regardless, any storms that do form have the potential to provide any of those severe weather threats, essentially. All right, so it's not a matter of if the severe weather threat's going to be there. It's a matter of if the storms try to form, period. All right, so let's go into the future track now here for you. On with you. All right, so future track. Here we go. Here for the rest of today, you can kind of see the increase in humidity. That's going to be coming with the cloud cover that's to the west side of the ArkLaTex there in that future track here for you. So we're already starting to increase the humidity again this afternoon and this evening. As we discussed, the temperatures, that leads us into warmer mornings. But it's also going to help us feel a little more on the hot side of things. We're going to feel more weight to our temperatures here for the afternoon coming on up. So the humidity's back here starting this afternoon. That's going to lead into the cloud cover kind of coming like in and out of the region here over the next 48 hours essentially, leading into Friday night. And then once you get into Saturday, again, this is just one future track, and this is the latest run out of this last future track. And let me just say before I run this Saturday here for you, this future track in particular was one of the scarce few that did not want to show many storms for us, which could happen. As you see on Saturday morning, there is storms up to the north end of the ArkLaTex, mainly up into eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. The point is that's going to come, if it is, it's going to come on down. Form looks like a little bit of storms on the northern edge of the ArkLaTex there for Saturday around lunchtime. And then you look at the line of storms just trying to barely form, almost like right in Shreveport and right in the central portion of the ArkLaTex there for Saturday afternoon. Looks like we have a cell or two maybe forming behind in Texarkana there for Saturday afternoon and evening as well. And it's going to look to form a whole line, a little bit of a line, kind of a mini line of storms that tries to like form in the ArkLaTex as it's on its way out of the region. And it looks to be out of here by Sunday morning. But again, it doesn't look like your whole, it's a couple cells. And again, if anything does form, it does have the potential for severe weather. And you kind of can see that with a few of these storms, especially the one that hits Texarkana right there around 6 p.m. A little intense red core there indicates, again, a severe thunderstorm potentially rolling through there at that time frame. Again, this is not a blanket of rain by any means. It's just a couple cells of storms passing across the region here for you. Again, that is one future track. Let's take a look at another one. Again, all the way for today, all the way through Friday, that's looking just fine here at this time frame. But then we get into Saturday. Saturday kind of starts maybe around lunchtime. I'd go with lunchtime here in the northern end of the ArkLaTex, then kind of moves into the central portion of the ArkLaTex there for your Saturday afternoon. Obviously, you see with this future track, a lot more widespread storms than the other future track posed, right? Kind of similar timing, though, where most of this is going to peak around Saturday evening and Saturday night almost, and pretty much start and ramp up definitely during the afternoon hours. But then like clockwork, again, by Sunday morning, we're pretty much dried out by this, and all your Sunday plans are fine. And then heading into next week, this future track goes into the long-term future into Monday and Tuesday of next week. You see the little chance of some moisture there for coming through on Tuesday, and there's another chance of rain potentially coming there for your Wednesday. That goes beyond 10 p.m. as well. All right, so that's the timings. That's what the future tracks have been telling us, showing us that those kind of means. Here's a severe weather risk here with those storms that are associated with that here for Saturday. Again, it's not a matter of if this severe weather threats are going to show up. I think it's just a matter of if the storms show up, period, in for certain areas. Do I think they're going to form? Yes. Most future tracks are still showing some presence of storms in the ArkLaTex. It's just a matter of how much we get. How much do we get? Especially because if you look at this whole severe weather risk, I'm going to zoom out. I'll zoom back in here in just a second. You see kind of the bullseye of this slight risk is in the state of Arkansas itself, pretty much from the northern end to the southern end. It kind of just includes the southern end of Missouri, and kind of likewise the bookend on the severe weather risk here is also in northwest Louisiana as well. So we still do have a marginal risk, and that still indicates at least a little slim chance of severe weather out for areas of Nacogdoches and Natchitoches. It just isn't as likely across the southern edge of the ArkLaTex there for you. But overall, slight risk in store for the I-20 corridor, essentially northward, and for most of the region here for you. All right, so rainfall potential. I know we've been talking about all doom and gloom, especially with the severe weather outlook. And look, we have not, just first of all, real quick before I hop into the rainfall potential, we haven't had a severe weather risk map like this in months. So that's why, especially when we want to make sure you're weather aware with us here this weekend, because these are not, again, your typical summer kind of pop-up storms, or it's like a few heavy downpours if they hit us, maybe. Essentially, what I'm trying to get at is, again, if these storms form, which they are likely to do, they will carry along severe weather threat with them, which we're going to have to stay weather aware about, and maybe impact your plans there for your Saturday afternoon and also Saturday night. All right, now getting into the rainfall aspect. Hey, this is good news now. We need the rainfall. We just discussed we've been 3 weeks without the rainfall at all. So this is much welcome. Now, this is actually good news as well, because you don't want too much rainfall all in one place, because that leads into flash flooding, that leads into flooding over roadways, and that's just not something we want to deal with either. That's too much rain to handle at once. But I'd say even though most of this comes within a 12-hour period, which could be a little worrisome, especially in areas that are further into, say, like Arkansas, like southwestern Arkansas, expected to get maybe an inch up into some areas of southwestern Arkansas there, maybe a few more. But overall, we're expecting somewhere between a half inch in this kind of darker green here. It's about a whole inch of rain. It's about good. That's good for a strong, healthy storm. Strong, healthy storms to move through the ArkLaTex here for us, mainly for Saturday. Now, obviously, it says next 7 days, but most of this rainfall is expected, in my opinion, to come through on Saturday. And as you see, not as much rainfall expected for areas out west, such as out towards Dallas and Fort Worth. As we just discussed on the future track, most of these storms, again, it's going to be hard to track on your First Alert weather app with the radar tab, because most of these storms are going to be forming in the ArkLaTex and then push eastward, essentially, across the rest of the region. It's just a question of where do they form. We'll see. We'll keep you First Alert. But obviously, again, good news. We're getting the rainfall we desperately need to get out of drought. And there are more rounds of rain potentially on the way into next week and later on down the road. All right, last things before the 7-day forecast. Let's get into some lifestyle forecasts, especially if you're headed out for the weekend, including Friday night football. Hey, Friday night football is looking fine. Again, most of the storm activity Saturday, not Friday. So Friday, I will say the changes are going to be with the temperature. So first of all, we're completely dry. That's good news always for those football games. But If you look at the temperatures, that's the thing we are changing. Last week we were hanging around with the upper 60s, lower 70s through the game. This week it's the lower 80s, 70s throughout the game time, believe it or not. So it's going to be on the warmer side of things here for this Friday, and that is going to be humid. It's going to be humid and in the 70s too. So that's going to be just T-shirt and shorts weather if you're trying to go out there for your Friday night. Then for the weekend, obviously all eyes are on what happens on Saturday. And if it's going to happen, again, look for it in the afternoon, evening, and nighttime hours of your Saturday. So if you got any plans then, just watch out for the skies. I wouldn't cancel any plans for now. But again, just make yourself weather aware, especially prep up for rain if you do have an event. Again, for Saturday afternoon through Saturday night. Sunday, you're fine. Not only that, we're cooler. Again, 89 for Saturday, 80 for a high temperature on Sunday. Again, that temperature ramps back up into the early part of next week. Highs in the mid-80s for you then. In fact, I just realized I need to take a commercial break. I got so in the zone with this whole forecast. I'm going to go over the 7-day forecast coming up after a quick commercial break. I know I just started going over it. But I need to run a commercial break. Then we'll go over the 7-day forecast. We'll kind of recap everything and see if you have any questions as well on our YouTube page, too. I'll answer those, too. We'll do a quick recap of all that. Again, coming up in our just last little tab in the first weather breakdown. Don't go anywhere. Just a quick, 2-minute break. We'll be right back after this. Hey, welcome back to the first weather breakdown. Sorry for those of you that were just waiting there for a moment. I think I accidentally didn't realize the commercial break had ended. But anyways, point is, welcome back. Let's go over the 7-day forecast now. Let's finish this, wrap this up here for you. 91, nice and sunny, still hot, with temperatures in the mornings trying to slightly warm up. So that's really the only change I really have in between now and today and tomorrow here for the most part. Still continuing on the sunshine trend, which still gets up those high temperatures up above 90 degrees. Look, I'm just tired of it at this point. I've been a repeating carousel, repeating circle in my mind of just like the same conditions day in, day out that I've been talking about. And this entire work week has been hyping up what is going to be happening this weekend, which happens with storms back in the ArkLaTex for the first time in a while. And not only that, we look to dry up in for early next week. But if you notice, Tuesday and Wednesday of next work week, maybe a little bit of rain coming back. 20% chance of storms for Tuesday, Wednesday, looking like another cold front coming on through, especially with that high on Wednesday, 78 degrees. Yes, we could have highs maybe down in the 70s here in for the second half of next week. That's even shown in most of our 12-day forecast, actually, as of right now. So maybe fall's coming along. Maybe so. Again, you just want to make sure you're weather aware here with us, especially in the short term there for your Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. Then we can enjoy what's behind that, essentially, especially in terms of fall temperatures. For all you fall lovers out there, it just seems like everybody comes to me nowadays, these days. Evan, when's fall coming out and about? Well, there's hopefully your answer that actually sticks around. Look, we've had the taste of fall, but it's always faded away just within the past 2 months. But maybe this will change. Maybe. We'll see. And obviously, we'll keep you first alert. And we'll keep you, obviously, weather aware. Anyways, thank you for watching First Alert Weather Breakdown today. That's all I got here for you. Have a great rest of your day. We got one more podcast here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown here for tomorrow at 10:30. One more chance to kind of update you. We'll have updates on Saturday itself on the storms, but one last chance on the Weather Podcast to fully update you on what's going on and anything new about storms coming on Saturday. Maybe the weather models will all come into agreement and we'll be one happy family and can actually say, hey, the storms will come at this time or this time and this time for specific areas. That would be phenomenal. That would make me happy, so that would make you happy as well. So it's like, okay, I just need to reserve this time frame to not go out, essentially, and to be weather aware, especially, again, with the chances of severe weather around. And it's not just, again, the hail or strong winds. It's that tornadic threat that is possible, technically, again, heading into your Saturday. We'll have more specifics, again, tomorrow. That'll be on our First Alert Weather Breakdown. Same time, same place here on your Friday. In addition to that, we'll go over your sports forecast as well, especially with Saturday. There's a couple college teams playing. I don't remember who's playing around here, but if there is anybody playing around here on Saturday, they might be in trouble with those storms. We'll see. We'll keep you first alert. All right. You have a great rest of your day. I will see you again tomorrow, 10:30. Same time, same place. Be there. Be square. Most importantly, with storms around for the weekend, stay weather aware. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you then. Peace.